Country Report, a 93-year-old Hilton Head woman whose family has ties to the Civil War generation says developers are trying to force her to sell her land, starting with what she calls a frivolous lawsuit. As WSAV's Andrew Davis tells us, now the community is backing her fight.
This porch has been part of Josephine Wright's family and her home for more than 30 years. But developers now say it's part of their property, even though it's 22 feet from the road that they're building on. And they filed a lawsuit to try to take it from her.
I've been pretty much of a fighter all my life.
And even at 93, this grandmother to 40, great-grandmother to 50, and great-great-grandmother to 16 more says she's ready to fight for her family's past and future.
It puzzled me at first, but then it got me angry.
Angry at the lawsuit filed against her by Bailey Point Investment. They're the group who are developing the land right behind her home on Jonesville Road, property that has belonged to her family since the Civil War. The 147-unit plan has been approved and is well on its way, but Bailey Point says Wright is blocking their progress. They filed a lawsuit saying parts of her home are on their property, and they have the paperwork to prove it. In fact, they're asking for damages. Wright already paid to move a shed and a satellite dish, but the developers say her porch is still on land they own.
See, I'm at least, 12 feet away from the borderline, which is right there.
Actually, neighbors helping her say it's 22 feet away from the road that Bailey Point built. Josephine says this isn't about a porch. The developers made offers to buy her land, and she claims when she turned them down, they started harassing her.
And I don't want to say anything that can be used against me, but I think they're unscrupulous and greedy. And they want nothing but all the property they can get their hands on.
Kelly LeBlanc is part of the newly formed Jonesville Preservation Society. She and her fellow neighbors, many of whom are related and original islanders, have garnered support from Hilton Head residents and town leaders, all to make sure the island's past here and everywhere will be protected in the future.
We can't change the zoning. The town is looking very carefully at all of the approvals that they're going through. So the town is really working with us in terms of it's got to be to the letter of the law.
In the meantime, Wright has a lawyer of her own now and is ready to fight for her property and her history. And what do you want?
I want to just keep my property and let them leave me alone.
Andrew Davis, WSAV News 3, on your side.
From our South Carolina Capitol News